Hello, everyone. This is David, Fairly Secret Music. I decided to do a video of 3 albums that I never see anybody talking about, CD wise, vinyl wise. I don't even think any of these are on vinyl, but you never know. All 3 of these, you can listen to the full albums if you look up the name of the album on YouTube, and it should bring up a full playlist of the albums. Unfortunately, we can't really put music in our videos for fear of getting them taken down. But, um, you know, I I sometimes think, oh, the only people that ever comment are the metal guys, and I haven't really been in a metal mood all that much. I've been buying a lot of 70s glam, like T-Rex, Slade, stuff like that. I did mention to somebody that, that's kind of more what I'm listening to. I'm still listening to metal, but I feel like you kind of get pigeonholed into only talking about metal, and I have so much more stuff to listen to. I did just reorganize my CDs, everything back here, right here, and all of that. Um, Basically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 rows. That is all the modern rock, classic rock, stuff like that. And then behind me here, up in this area, this is all just regular metal. And the very top shelf has like technical death metal and bands like Silent Neurosis. And then this last, right on the very top there, is all my black metal. And then this is all hair metal down to about here. And then it goes grunge. And then there's 6 rows of prog rock on the other side, and a couple rows of folk and classical, and then 3 rows of funk, hip hop, R&B, soul stuff. So there is a lot of stuff that I can talk about. So I do feel that sometimes metal is the thing that most people comment on, and I started this channel to talk about music in general, hence the title Fairly Secret Music, stuff that I didn't think people knew about that well. And so we are going to do 3 albums that you have never heard. I can guarantee you probably have never heard. If you have heard them, awesome. Please comment. You're you're the I don't say you're the people that I want to talk to, but you're the ones who dig deep. And I do see some people who are like, that's kind of my limit, and I'm not going to do any more of that band or this band. And I am always like, let's hear somebody's complete discography and stuff. These bands, all except for one, actually have only got 1 album. So, Sleet, we'll talk about this. Sleet, the volume drops, kind of indie rock. If the radio had soul in the United States, had a soul, I should say, this album would have been huge because it is fantastic. There was a band called Twitch from Michigan who had, I think his name is Jared Bryant. No, no, that's the drummer of a different thing. Chris Byers and Kevin Oberlin were in a band called Twitch in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and they were more metal, very odd metal, I'm not going to compare them to anybody because they didn't sound like anybody. It's a great album. The album is called, one second, and I will show it to you. That album is called Beaten Senseless and Giddy with Love. And I think this is a fantastic album. It's very bizarre, but this is the band that they were in. And so it was Kevin and Chris. Kevin is the brother, I believe, of Brent Oberlin from Thought Industry. So that's how I found out about these guys. Although I did see, I have seen this used more than once or a dozen times over the years, because this came out in 93. So when I found out that they were in another band called Sleet, I thought, it's, I wonder what this sounds like. And the very first song that I heard was When She Fades Away, and it was like night and day vocally with Chris, because he went from a very not obscure, but a very acquired tasting vocal delivery to something that is, even though it's unique, it's more accessible for the casual music fan and stuff like that, or somebody who doesn't quite like more aggressive vocals. But he really impressed me on this album, doing a lot of falsetto stuff. There is anything between just like pure power pop to like indie rock, kind of alt country to just amazing songs. And probably some of the best songs are the first two, Fake Blue Eyes and When She Fades Away. And then there's a few in there that are good, but the last four songs, Elvado, Catch Your Death, All the Love in the World, and You'll Never Know, are just fantastic. Those are some of the ones that are kind of the weird alt country. Well, not even weird, just have just kind of like a southern twang a little bit to them. And I cannot suggest this album more. I think it is fantastic. I believe they did an EP, but this is the only one that I've been able to get, is Sleet Volume Drops. So check it out. Let me know if you listen to it. The next guy is Andy Rinehart, Jason's Chord. So this album, wish I could get like it to go like this. Nah, that's fine. Jason's Chord came to me indirectly. It was just like a bunch of artists that I really liked at the time ended up playing on this. This has Kurt Wertman, who I believe played with Bowie at some point, maybe. I'm not sure. I might be confusing him with somebody else. He plays drums on it. Andy, of course, plays piano and accordion and does vocals. But then it also had David Torn, who has played with Terry Bozzio in Polytown, Bill Bruford, Tony Levin on his solo album, and Bill Bruford, Tony Levin, Upper Blue. It was called Bruford Levin Upper Extremities, I think it was called, which I am actually looking for. And Mick Karn on bass. So David Torn on guitar and Mick Karn on bass. And if you don't know who Mick Karn is, he played bass with a band called Japan, who basically Duran Duran stole their sound from. Because if you listen to Japan, what is it called? Quiet Life. Just the title track alone, you can go, oh my God, Duran Duran absolutely stole their sound from Japan. But Mick Karn is a fretless bass player. He has played with Kate Bush. He's played with Joan Armatrading. Let's see who else. David Torn and Terry Bozzio and Polytown. Who else? He was with Peter Murphy for the Dolly's Car CD or album. He did a bunch of solo albums. He's done stuff with Jansen and Barbieri. And I think that's it. He's played with tons of other people, I'm sure, that I just don't have stuff from. I've thought about getting the Joan Armatrading stuff, but that's basically all I'm getting it for, because I'm not a big fan of her. Her vocal delivery is kind of okay, but maybe one day I'll come around to it, because I came around to Kate Bush and who else recently. I don't know. Anyway, so, but he played with Kate Bush, so, this is kind of, if you're in that kind of Peter Gabriel kind of vibe, but a little more organic, because they don't use any real electronic keyboards or anything like that. It's all piano, accordion, fretless bass, just fantastic fretless bass playing, and guitars and drums, and the drum sound on this is so awesome. It's very natural, not overproduced, kind of raw sounding. Kurt does a fantastic job, but the key is, for me, is Andy's voice and Mick's bass playing, because it's just got a nice rubbery sound to it. It's just a fantastic fretless bass playing. Some of the highlights on this are Jason and Martha, Being Wrong, oh gosh, I can't remember. There's one song that was on this album. Let me see if I can grab the other Andy Rinehart stuff. Sorry about that. House of Home. So originally House of Home was on Andy Reinhardt's first solo album, and notice he changes the name. It's R-I-N-E on this one, but R-E-I-N on his first one, and there's a D in there. So House of Home was on this one. They did it on this one, and the bass takes over the part that used to be played on the original. He also had an album called Pillbox, and this is fantastic. This sounds more like kind of Peter Gabriel stuff. But as I said before, I don't really like comparing people. I'm just telling you kind of, if you have a love for certain other artists, this might appeal to you. It's like all those metal CDs where it says fans of Entombed or Cynic and Death and Obscura and stuff like that. You know exactly what you're getting into. But yeah, this one came out in 1993, I think. Let me check here. Yeah, 93. So by the time I heard it, it was a couple years later. I think it was 95 that I finally heard it. I went to see Polytown on one of the 8 stops that they had. They just so happened to do a show in Minneapolis. And from that, I grabbed Mick Karn's stuff. I grabbed David Torn's stuff. And this, honestly, out of all the Mick Karn, all the David Torn, this was the one that I loved the most. This is one of those albums that I could just listen to over and over again, sing along with every word on the album. Even the song Fortune Cookie, it has so many words on that song. It's just fantastic. So give this a shot. It is fantastic. And as I said, if you have heard this already and know it, then that is why you should be here and watching these. Next is a singer that some of you might know, and he's done I think a couple EPs. This is the only one that have physical copies of. And this, if you listen to this on YouTube, the version on YouTube doesn't have one of the songs on this album, but it is also, there are things that it sounds like it was remixed, or he redid the vocals before he put this album out, or this version of it out. And I love the hype sticker. I kept the hype sticker. I usually don't keep the hype stickers, but this said it's exhibiting a style that melds the soul of Jeff Buckley, the craftsmanship of Joni Mitchell, and the raw power of Led Zeppelin. Buchanan have created the sexiest record of the year. That was from Mean Street Magazine, and I have to agree with him. This album is fantastic. There are a lot of albums, like Sleet. I know all the lyrics. I listen to it front and back, but I've had it for 17 years. Jason's Chord, I've had this since 1995, so I know every word to that. This album came out in 2003. I probably got it in 2014 or something like that. And I listened to it so much that I memorized, I would say, 80% of the lyrics. And I don't memorize 80% of the lyrics on anything these days. But I just listen to it over and over again. And you might go, who's Buchanan? The singer's name is Jay Buchanan. You might know him from a little band called The Rival Sons. If you have not listened to The Rival Sons, do check them out. They're more straight ahead rock and roll, kind of in that Led Zeppelin vibe. A good song to check out is Pressure in Time by them. That gives you a kind of a good idea of what the rest of their discography is going to sound like. This is a fantastic album too. They have another album that has a super sweet song where on the video they're in a church singing. But Buchanan, oh man. So the song Plans is about a guy whose girlfriend leaves him, and how she makes plans without him, because that's what he feared. That's what he feared, is she would make plans without him. There's a second song on here, but it's not the second song on the YouTube version. It's kind of out of order too on the YouTube version. 3 Times Colleen, where basically the girl says, hey, I'm getting married soon, and you're my fiance's friend, but I always found you a little cute. And he says, Colleen, you can do what you want, but I won't go there. I won't do that to my friend. But the last line is, she came 3 times, and I lost my best friend. There is a song, let's see, American Sun. American Sun is fantastic. It's just basically calling out people on their bullshit, and It's just awesome, saying things like, let me see the lyrics here. I'll just kind of put that up for right now. Let me see. Let's see. God bless the American son. You teach your boy how to hold the gun. You think your God is the only one. God bless the American son. She's so skinny, so sick and pretty. But if I can't have a girl like that, then I don't want any. So it's just awesome lyrics like that. There is one song called If You Leave that I don't really enjoy the lyrics, and the version of the CD on YouTube actually doesn't even have that song on there. I think there's a different song on that version. I would actually like a copy of that, but I've learned how to sing along with this, and he did change the vocals from that version that's on YouTube to this physical copy. But let's see. I think it's called The Last Thing You Need. I really like that song because it has a line. Let's see. The last thing you need. I can't remember if it's on this song. I think he says something about basically you want me to be your lifeboat or something like that. It's been a while since I listened to it. If I had just listened to it, I would be able to tell you. But yeah, check out Buchanan, All Understood, Andy Rinehart, Jason's Chord, and Sleet volume drops. Let me know what you think, and hopefully I've kind of opened you up to some new awesome music that you didn't know about. I think this one can go for quite a bit because since he started in Rival Sons, a lot of people have been looking for it. I don't know for sure. I found this copy. I got it for $10 on eBay at one point. I found another used copy. I got it for my sister, and she really likes it too. It's funny. My sister, Jenna, she and I have our main musical connection in life has always been Paul Stanley. I don't know why. We love to sing the whoa, 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 I gotta know. That part. I can't hit those notes anymore though. She can because she's a soprano. But yeah. Let me know what you think. All right.